Well, of course, the situation is evolving quickly, so it's difficult to predict the outcomes with any certainty right now, although some general trends are clearly emerging. And in those countries like China, where we have a consumer finance operation, is showing for some products and under some circumstances, the recovery can be quite quick. However, we are in many countries where the crisis is actually evolving very differently. So it is really difficult to assess the impact across all these multiple markets and regions right now.
But I did want to ask you about the increase in lending that you've taken on at this point. I presume some of that is where you've scrapped the final 2019 dividend. That does give you some capacity to increase lending into those markets where there is the demand.
But that is the case. Our capital was fairly flat in the quarter, despite the significant growth that we had in lending, and that shows how resilient our capital base is. Our model, it is difficult for us to generate capital, so it's a model that generates capital slowly, but at the same time, it shows our model is very resilient in times of crisis. We've seen that our capital, in all stress tests conducted by the EBA and the ECB in the last few years, drops the list of the major European banks in a crisis. And this is a real crisis. This is not a paper crisis. And I think this time around, we will show that our capital is much more resilient.
Can I ask you about the deposit side? Because in some other crises, we've seen deposit flight. We've seen some customers trying to build up more deposits for safety. What's happening this time around? What's the expectation?
Well, deposits are generally behaving as normal. I mean, we are not seeing any running deposits in any of the countries where we operate, and also we are not seeing flight to quality that we saw back in some cases in some countries back in 2008, 2011. So deposits are doing well in some cases because investors are moving away from money market funds into bank deposits, but we are generating sufficient liquidity to meet our loan demands with absolute normality.